Folks think that milk comes out of a cooler in the 7-Eleven. So tell them what the heck's going on here.
We can laugh about it, but believe it or not, too many people do not understand where their food comes from. And this is one of the big draws or big mission of the county fairs, is to introduce people to where their food actually comes from.
Right.
And especially small kids. It's amazing how many small kids here. Well, everybody knows milk comes out of the store. You know, and people don't realize how much effort actually goes into making a bushel of sweet corn, or a gallon of milk.
And we have all sorts of regulations in this country, and we're getting more and more of our milk and food from other countries where, like Mexico and otherwise, that our farmers can't compete with.
Well, that brings up another point. We have probably the best food quality system in this country.
In the world.
In this country, in the world.
Yeah.
Because, unfortunately, because of government regulations. The food that comes in from overseas is not produced under the same rules. I won't say it's...
I'll say for it. They use human feces in Mexico. They raise tilapia using human feces in places like China.
Yeah.
They still use things like DDT in other countries. And we inspect less than 3% of our products in the United States that are coming in from other countries.
Yep, I know it. And I talk about that here at the fairgrounds, and people say, well, what would you do? And I said, well, if I bought grapes, I'd make darn sure I washed them.
Right. Or I bought American, which is harder and harder.
Well, yeah, sometimes you don't have a lot of choice, but I know when you go into Adams, maybe I shouldn't use the word, but, you know, the boxes that they're unpacking from Argentina, Peru, all those countries.
Right.
That's not to say it's bad food. You don't know.
You just don't know.
You don't know.
So you want to say what, these are all Holsteins that are here? I don't know what's
in the barn right now. There's one brown Swiss.
Which is my favorite. I love brown Swiss.
Okay.
I love it.
Well, that brings up another point. The most cows in this country, most of your milk is coming from the Holstein cow. People have these other breeds for a reason. And Greg just mentioned something. I like brown Swiss.
Oh, really? I love their temperament.
Yep. But that's the reason that people have Jerseys, Guernseys, brown Swiss, and Ashers. Because for whatever reason, they like that breed.
And the Jerseys and others have higher butter fat, right? So if you're making cheese, the Jersey...
Yes, the Jerseys are more sought after for manufactured product because you can get more pounds of cheese out of a pound of milk from a Jersey cow than you can from a Holstein.
But a Holstein
and this holds true with your other colored breeds as well.
Holstein gives the most milk typically, right? How many pounds a day is a good one of these producers?
On the average, a Holstein cow is going to give you 8 gallons a day. They got to be milked twice a day.
4 gallons morning and night, or 8?
4 gallons morning and night. It's one of the big questions we get here. How many times a day do you milk a cow? Twice. Oh my goodness!
Some places do 3 times, right? To try to pull more.
It's not uncommon. Well, they do it 3 times. Yeah, they get more milk, but the labor costs are higher.
Yeah.
But you will have better, improved udder health because you get the udder unloaded more often.
From 3 times a day? Yeah?
From 3 times a day. You'll have less mastitis.
Less mastitis and all that. Can you explain what mastitis is? Because
mastitis is an infection in the udder that cows can get. They can really get sick. And actually, if it's not treated, it can kill them.
It can go to gangrene or something.
But antibiotics is the treatment of choice. That brings up another point. When cows are treated with antibiotics, whether it's mastitis or respiratory ailment or whatever, there's a withhold time that the milk has to be withheld off of the market. Typically 5 or 6 milkings. You can feed this milk to the calves, but you can't put it on the milk truck. Every milk truck that goes into the plant is tested for antibiotics in that load of milk. If it tests positive, they can't unload it. What they do is they make powder out of it. They separate it out and make powder out of the skin. and the antibiotics collect in the fat.
So people understand too, you have a network of farms out there. There are less and less dairy farms. Who's picking up the milk and where's that milk going?
A good share of your milk is marketed through co-op. You can call them a middleman. The purpose of the co-op is to guarantee the farmer a milk for his market.
And what are they getting per cubic weight now, pure hundredweight right now?
It's somewhere around $23. I don't have a good hard figure. Don't see anybody in here that can.
Joe, if you want to zoom in, you can actually see the milk coming through the lines and going into that tank.
It's a co-ops that have the tank loads of milk on the road, and they determine where that milk is going to go. So you're an independent milk dealer. You call Agrimark up and say, I need 2.5 tanker loads of milk every day. They supply it to you. You pay them. They pay the farm.
How many dairy farms are in Dutchess County now, approximately?
20.
Compared to how many? Hundreds?
I can't remember when we came in 1960 how many there were. In 73, there were 270 dairy farms in the county. And that's just Dutchess County.
And the average age of farmers getting older and older. I mean, this is the problem. And we're not producing our own food anymore. And this is beautiful country for it, but the property taxes have been so much.
Well, some of the reason all governments foster a cheap food policy.
Right.
Because when people get hungry, they cause all kinds of trouble for the government.
Yeah.
So the governments generally have a tendency to keep food prices low. And this is where some of your government's programs come in. There's painted word subsidies. This is bad and all
then
that.
The ethanol subsidy.
It helps to give you.
Yeah, that's the opposite direction.
Yeah, that's a whole other issue there.
Created a whole cycle, ignited a whole cycle now.
Well, what we've done with the ethanol coming into it and the world population, there is no more surplus of grain.
And people are switching to wheat.
Now they're starting to get, the word is getting out to back off on some of these commodity programs that the government has.
Well, is there anything else people should know about what's going on here today? Did you used to be here for, how long have you done this?
I've been here probably 28 years.
28 years.
Doing this job here.
So when I was a kid showing goats over here, I would hear your voice. It was a little different bar. It's a lot nicer than it was.
Yeah, that old chicken coop
right.
up there. Hot and sweaty. This building here has got a perforated roof, ceiling, and fans upstairs. You can feel the air moving.
It's great.
Somebody commented there's no flies. Why?
Because the
flies can't stand moving in.
Yep.
So this building is amazing. People ask, what else do you use it for? It's used for nothing except for Fair Week and Black and White Show.
This is great.
In July.
And Joe, I don't know if you can you hear me now? If you actually show on some of these udders and you'll see some of the milk coming out, it's because they let them go by, well, maybe a couple hours or whatnot beyond the time, so the udders really fill up for the shows. That's not, you know.
Yeah, for show day, they usually milk quite early. You want the udder as full as possible so the judge can actually see the attachments and see the full shape of the udder.
And they're putting...
And basically, any fault will show up.
You want to explain what they're putting on the teats as they go to milk that teat dip?
Before milking, each teat is sanitized. We want to make sure it's clean before the machine goes on. This milk here in the farms today, once the machine goes on, the milk is not exposed to the air at all. Even in the tank is covered. In the old days when you milk by hand, you're sitting down under the cow, you're milking by hand, the flies buzzing around, the tail is flashing around. You probably get the picture.
Right.
So we're producing a high quality milk to begin with.
And you just don't see this level of sanitation in other countries where we're harvesting milk from, which is
and
people just don't get it. And that's why it's important that they come here and they see how it's done in the United States and they have that connection to their food because they have lost that connection to the earth.
Yes, this is true. And in this country too, we have a tendency to take food for granted. You don't like to think about it, but the grocery store is always there.
Right.
Unless you got a big storm coming, the shelves are full, the milk case is full.
Yep. If folks had to
You
put
just don't have to worry about supply.
if folks had to put their own seed in the ground, we'd be in trouble. It's pretty scary. Now you want to tell them why when they're done what they put the dip that they put on after to help with the mastitis. When they're done milking.
After milking, the sphincter muscle on the end of the teat is relaxed, and bacteria can gain entrance to the udder. This is a very viscous substance, so it seals it off until nature tightens up that. So it's a mastitis preventive,
So
therapeutic tool.
So they come in here, they clean off the udder, they put a little antiseptic sanitizer on it. They maybe massage the udder a little bit. They milk them. They get about 2 gallons for a good milk, right? A good milker. And then when they're done, they put a teat dip on it to help protect it from mastitis or any infection. And they do that every 12 hours. And this is the toughest job in the world. I don't care what job you have, from President of the United States on down, being a dairy farmer. I don't care. Christmas morning, the day your mama dies, you're cooking breakfast and the car crashes. It doesn't matter. Those cows have to be milked. This is the toughest job in the world. They will die from mastitis and infection. They have to be milked. They have to be milked. Their udders can actually rupture, right? Am I talking? I mean, it's... You got to milk them.
The first thing that happens, a cow will quit giving milk. If you don't milk her, she's going to quit giving milk. If she is milking heavy, yes. She can get sick. She can get gangrenous mastitis.
I mean, this is not a typical bull cow that has a couple babies and baby dies. This is, explain that this is a couple of gallons every morning and night. This is commercial animals.
I can go further than that. The average milk production for a cow from your herd is 4 gallons per milking. This is average. Your cows in the first early part of lactation will give much more milk than they do 10 months later. Also, your younger cows don't give as much milk as your older cows. Now, 8 gallons of milk a day is 64 pounds. 150 pounds, 160 pounds a day is not totally unusual for a heavy milking aged cow in early stages of lactation. So the 8 gallons is a little bit of a misnomer.
And a pound, it's 8 pounds to a gallon.
Yes, that's good. Yep, you got that right.
And about, if you were making cheese, every gallon makes about 1 pound of cheese. Is that about?
You got a better handle on that. I don't have an answer for that one.
Anything else they should know? Except for that Joe wears funny shoes and funny... Don't look at my shoes. I'm wearing boots.
All I can say is come to the Dutchess County Fair. It's the greatest place in the world, the 3rd week in August. We really like having people here. We really want to see you get in touch with agriculture, and all you got to do is walk out through the barns. The barns are full of people down through the aisles. They're asking questions, they're looking. Kids are throwing their arms around a baby calf. And they're just being educated.
You should do it 4 times.
It's a great time.
God bless you. Until Ed Flood we met.